What's going on? I just got done watching Cobra Kai Season 4. Absolutely, once again, this show does the same thing to me every single time. Whenever I see a new season comes out, I'm like, this show's a pretty good show, looking forward to watching it. But then I watch it and I get done with it and I'm like, wow, this is so good. How is this so good? How is this? Wow. Every time it's like I forget or I just don't expect to have that same reaction again. But every time I have the same reaction of wow, this is just wow. I'm just why am I liking this so much? How is this something like this engaging me so much? I did watch probably the first two Karate Kid movies quite a bit when I was younger, especially the first one. And then the third one a little bit, so I am familiar with that, but I do think that I could, and that helps, me understand the stuff that's cool in this for sure. But I think this would also be cool if you didn't watch and I feel like some of the people that watch it, if you didn't watch the original movies, they still a good show, But no, it definitely helps if you've seen the other ones or have some knowledge of them. But yeah, so let's talk about Season 4. I think it's safe to say right off the bat, the best season so far. I think so. And that's just really impressive because I expected this show to be a wrap after one season, one and done. But no, they just keep getting better and better with it, which isn't the case for most shows. Most shows will have a dip in there, but this one just keeps going up and up, So, yeah, absolutely awesome. It's tough doing a review for an entire season. You're definitely going to miss some stuff and not be able to break down every single thing that you like about it. But I just have some kind of general notes, some things that popped out in my mind while I was watching it, so I'm going to go ahead and go over it. So right off the bat, we open with the show does this in a few different times where it kind of subverts the normal expectation that you'd have with most shows of how they would handle something, or just kind of to downplay like a serious tone moment, so it's not like cringy or I don't know, it'd be cringy, be it, yeah, something like that. So like at the cliffhanger, whenever Kreese calls up Johnny Silver, no, it's not Johnny Silver, that's from fucking Cyberpunk. Silver, I forget his first name, but I'm terrible with names, but calls him up, and Silver just, looks at his phone as like unknown number and just like hello, and here's it, like just hangs up and starts playing this piano again. Love that opening, it was like, yeah, that's because people probably wouldn't have expected, nobody probably would have expected it to have played out that way, but it did, for that big cliffhanger, so that's awesome. Let's see. So of course, seeing Daniel and Johnny interact was the big thing of this season, with them trying to come together and mash their styles of karate together to defeat Kreese and Silver. I hope that's right. Silver, yeah. I feel like that's not right. I can't remember his first name right now. But seeing them unite and it was illustrated really well. Of course, you get loads of comedy stuff in there between Daniel and Johnny, the way how they're so different, but like I said, they illustrate it just so well in just so many different ways and little things, that they do. Yeah, I just love it. There's all kinds of good comedy in here, Let's see, like I said, they use it to break up tension sometimes. Like there was one scene where they were all about to clash and the little nerdy kid comes in and he's like, guys, can you believe that they have Mr. Pibb and Dr. Pepper? And it was like, it's good, some of the comedy stuff, it really just works. Most of all of it does. They even, because this feels like it would be like a little kid, like oriented show, but it's really not. They even drop some F-bombs in here, Johnny says the F-bomb at a bar. I forget what the context was, but yeah, and then another kid drops it in the very last episode. But yeah, the comedy is just amazing, especially with Johnny. Oh my god, the way he doesn't get like the new hip way of stuff. They've had that gag carry on for like the course of the show. But yeah, it's always so great, and they do it so perfectly, And like I said, just illustrate his personality in so many different ways. I think he's definitely one of the strongest actors on the show too. Johnny is, which is good because he's the main. He was the main guy. It's more of an ensemble now. But yeah, he really carries the show. Him and Miguel's relationship, I think, are the heart of the show for sure. The two of them together is still great, even in season 4, if not the best it's ever been. Yeah. Let's see. Oh yeah, the particular comedy thing I thought was so funny. They have Johnny. I mean, there's so much of it, but I could go on and on. But Johnny, whenever he's at the park trying to recruit the young girls to join karate, and he's going like pedophile, like pedo on them, but he seems like, it's like talking to a dude. He's like, yeah, I want that one. She's under 18. I'm gonna go try to get her. The guy's just like, what the yeah, and yeah, and with that, they do some, and this is just, I'm going to use for an example, because I know in most all things, whenever there's like woke stuff in there, or whatever like that, I criticize it. But I will say, I do not criticize it in everything. I don't, because in this, it works, and I'll tell you, it's because it's organic in the story. It makes sense to be there. It doesn't feel like it's just there just to say, oh, we did it. Because it's a conversation that they'd have, the girls can't fight with the guys in the competition, so they sit down, they have a long talk about it, and Johnny has to go and recruit some girls for that, and then he's trying to understand feminism. He says, I learned feminism and all that, and they kind of have some of that stuff in here, so it's not, they make it work, the show's great. For some different storylines, we get some good ones. So Hawk, they really make him feel like he had to work for his redemption in this season, which I'm glad about, because they really hammered him hard into being a bad guy. I remember for the past 3 seasons. Yeah, so I'm glad that they made it feel more earned with him. He loses, of course, spoilers in this, obviously, by now, but he loses his mohawk. People aren't really too happy with him on either side of the teams, because of everything that he's done. He's a traitor, and then on the side that he's now joined, they don't want him there because he was just on the enemy side. So yeah, you kind of feel for him and feel like he earned his redemption, and at the very end, whenever he wins the tournament, you do feel happy for him, like you've came around. And the same for Tori, I think, for the most part. You feel bad for her story in here, and it was fun seeing her interact with the mom this season. Or not fun, but it was kind of heartwarming, I guess, seeing her have that mother figure. That's something that they do very well in this show, especially in this season, finding the different ways that each character kind of relates to each other, and how the older characters can mirror the younger characters' stories, like Miguel not having a single mom, and he bonds with LaRusso over that, Daniel, or Daniel's daughter, can't think of her name right now, Daniel's daughter bonds with Johnny over Johnny saying, basically be whoever you want to be, and not do everything LaRusso says, because he didn't do everything that his parents said, or else he would have been working at like $1 million company, or just lots of great talks in here. Daniel talking to Miguel about, I didn't go to college, so don't worry about it. You don't have to go to college to, be super successful like me. Yeah, just all kinds of stuff like that all around. And yeah, Tori and the mom as well. Bonding was good. And they had a little storyline with Daniel's son, which kind of paralleled Daniel, I think, when he was younger, because everybody likes to point out about that first Karate Kid movie that Daniel was the main villain in that, depending on which way you look at it. And yeah, so his son is kind of doing the same thing, or in a certain way, and making the black kid, the young kid, turn into the villain, his villain. So yeah, I'm gonna get to see how that plays out. It'll be cool. Just really interesting stuff, whichever way you look at it. I like the way Robbie is in Cobra Kai, but he's neutral because he's been passed around, right? So he's kind of like, I'm just on the winning team. I'm not really on your team. I do like that kind of third stance that he has. Let's see. Yeah, Johnny and Miguel are the heart of the show. I said that in so many scenes. It's funny seeing him kind of realize that his parents, that Johnny and his mom are dating, and also kind of sad to see him get jealous over Miguel and Daniel's relationship. But yeah, that's something. Answer in the comments if you think that Johnny, whenever he called Miguel Robbie, if he thought he was talking to Miguel, or if he thought he was talking to Robbie and he was just, you know what I'm saying, or if he was like out of his head and didn't mean to say Robbie, or he thought that Miguel was Robbie, you know what I mean? Yeah, I hope that they bring up that scene in season 5. I'm sure they will, and Miguel talks it out with Johnny, because it was really sad, because you wanted them to, say, oh, they love each other and all that. But then there was that twist at the end where, oh, he thinks he's talking to Robbie, I guess. So let me know what you think was going on in Johnny's head in that scene. Let's see. Yeah, good dynamics between the characters, good fight scenes. Hats off to the kids in this show, or I guess they're not kids. They're probably like my age, right? They're like in their 20s. I'm sure most of them are, or maybe a little bit younger, but. Great job performing the fight scenes and all of that, and getting in shape to do this, because it does look like it's all actually done by them, and especially applause to the older actors, Kreese, and even I guess Daniel. He's probably 40 something, and Johnny, or 50 maybe, and Terry Silver, that's it, Terry Silver, for doing, especially Terry and Kreese, for doing their fight scenes, because, they're old, but they look like they're still doing it, and, yeah, I hope that I can perform like that when I'm, 60 or whatever, 70. So yeah, great fight scenes. Yeah, and they do, like, symbolism with some scenes, and the training and stuff, the way they train, and the way it works with their real life, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, I have a scene written down as an example to say what I mean. There was a scene where Daniel and Miguel are in the car together, and he tells him, slow down at the red lights, or slow down at the yellow lights, and he says, like, oh, Johnny always told me to speed up, and it's just a nice way of showing their different ways of teaching. Neither way is wrong, but they're just different, different approaches to things, right? And I really like them showing that in that way. That's just a small example, but yeah. Oh, and I think I already said, but Johnny and Daniel also having their their dynamic of trying to show each other their fighting styles, and not just the kids, was great. The ice hockey scene, where Johnny leaves him, and he comes back and he says, the best way of fighting is for me to not be here, or whatever, quoting Daniel. Just love that shit, man. So much in here. I could break, if I try to tell you every scene of dialogue and comedy that I love from this show, I'd probably be telling you every scene, and that's why, I can't. But, so yeah, that was just one of them. Let's see. We had some returning characters. We had Stingray return. I don't know if they weren't in there because of COVID or what, but we had Stingray return this season. And then the black chick, the kind of heavy-set chick from the earlier seasons came back too. So that was nice just to have some closure on their stories, I guess. Or it looks like Stingray is going to stick around for a while. Yeah, just great stuff. Lots of 80s references in here. I'm not, obviously I'm not an 80s kid, but I do get the references and appreciation that they still are keeping it fresh after 4 seasons. Definitely not crippling under the weight of this show's popularity, just kind of soaring and soaring with it for sure. The acting, I think I said, isn't always the best though, from a few of them, I want to say. I don't want to call anybody out because I don't know, I feel kind of bad. I think Daniel's not very good. Who else? I can tell you the ones that are alright. Like I said, Johnny is alright. I think Miguel's alright sometimes. Sometimes he like cries though, and I don't really know if it's a scene that fits to cry, but no, the acting is just okay. As a complaint, another complaint that I have, probably the biggest complaint I have, the editing sometimes. And I know I probably sound like a snob or whatever, or just too picky for saying this, but no, actually, I think this is a valid complaint with this one. The editing is sometimes pretty bad, not with the fight scenes, but with the dialogue. If you watch and pay attention in a lot of scenes, well, you know, maybe an episode or every other episode, there are some scenes where the actors will be talking, and the dialogue will not match up with what they're saying. So they've said something else in the scene, but they've laid over some dialogue from something different, and it looks really weird. And I don't know why they do that, why they cut, and you know, but yeah, they got to work on their cuts with that, because that was really noticeable to me, and I don't really pay that much attention to stuff like that. But yeah, that's just a complaint. So let's see. So next season, we'll see, I guess, Mexico, Miguel in Mexico, and Johnny going after him, and let's see. I was really happy with the way the tournament played out. You know, I like that Silver. So I don't think Kreese will stay. It won't be in next season. Maybe for like the first half he won't be, but I think he'll come back around. I don't think his jail thing will stick, you know, with any serious charges. But I do like the way Terry Silver brings the money element to the table, you know, with being able to bribe the referee, you know, for that one play with the girl. I think that'll come out at some point from Tori as some predictions for next season. Robbie and Johnny hopefully will finally bond, you know, because they really haven't for 4 seasons. You know, I don't really even care about their relationship compared to him and Miguel, you know, at all. So I think we'll see some of that. Yeah, oh, and they even, well, it could be the last we see of Kreese, because they kind of did a thing where they redeemed Kreese a little bit at the end, I think, with with him at the tournament telling Tori, just do your own thing, you know, because he had a flashback to back with Johnny whenever he was so, you know, controlling of Johnny, and, you know, Johnny kind of turned against him or whatever, and Johnny didn't win, so he told Tori to do her own thing, you know, and he's kind of thinking that's why she won, but it's sad, but it's because actually Terry bribed the judge, right? I believe, or the referee. So yeah, I mean, like I said, I could really break down you know, every single scene from this season, because I loved every second of it. Watched it in 2 days. So yeah, absolutely awesome. Hope it continues. Oh, did I say, so they're bringing back the Asian guy? It feels a little bit, do I want to say, I can't remember his name. I could try to pronounce what I think it is, but I don't want to. But the guy who knows the paralyzing, you know, techniques, the main villain from the second movie, I want to say it's like Tenzin or something like that, but I don't know. So yeah, they continue with the trend in season 4 where they're bringing back somebody, even though he kind of had already came back. Eventually they're going to, I guess they've run out of new people to bring back, but that's fine. I think they got everybody. But yeah, so maybe he'll show them some paralyzing techniques or whatever, and they'll be able to stop Cobra Kai, get him out of the valley once and for all, you know. A little bit silly notion if you think about it, how serious this karate thing gets, but at the same time, the show makes it work to where you buy into it, like, yeah, this karate shit, you know, it's getting serious, you know, this is a fucking war, you know, it's just a bunch of kids doing karate. But yeah, no, they have some good scenes. I mean, whenever the fights break out and stuff, you're like, yeah, I think I would mostly believe that, yeah, if kids did learn karate, you know, then they would want to use it at school and over shit like this, you know. So, yeah, like I said, I could go on about this, but yeah, let me know what you thought. I don't think anybody, you know, has anything other than positive things to say about it. You know, it's #1 on Netflix right now. Just absolutely awesome. You know, kind of a real neutral show. I think really easy for just about anybody to get into, and yeah. I just hope they do kind of plan an ending for it at some point, and don't let it carry on too long to where it gets bad, because those are always the best shows that know when to come, do our thing, did it good, and break out. All the best shows, I think, have that in common, where they know when to hold them and know when to fold them. You know what I mean? So that's about all I got for this one. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.